Dean, thanks for joining us. There were lots of goods and lots to improve on Saturday, and you've got a very quick chance to do so against Fleetwood tomorrow.
Yeah, that sounds like the post-match chat with the players, actually. Yeah, to get off to a good start in terms of the 3 points was massive for us. We saw many good sides to the way that we want to play this season. When we had the ball, we moved it at times really well. We created chances. And when we were without possession, we went after the opposition at the right times. We forced them into some longer play. And if you look at the second goal, that was a good example there where we pressed high. Danny Batts won the ball back and it's led to a goal. So there was many good sides to the way that we played. But you're right, there is, of course, this early stage of the season. There's still loads for us to work on. Nowhere near the team that we want to be, but certainly it was a positive start, yeah.
Well, Fleetwood will be looking to bounce back from a defeat at home to Portsmouth on Saturday. What do you know about them?
Yeah, I know quite a bit. Of course, we've got a really experienced manager in Simon Grayson. His assistant, someone I know really well, David Dunn, I've worked with previously. So, yeah, kept an eye on them. We've watched the game from the weekend and some of the pre-season games as well. And they lost out narrowly to a good Portsmouth team, I have to say. They created chances in the game, Fleetwood. They're a team that have got a nice balance with some good experienced players in there, but they've equally got some really exciting youngsters as well, particularly in them forward areas. So it would be a tough game for us. There's no doubt about that. This early stage of the season, everyone's sort of getting up to speed and seeing what it's all about. And for us, we'll have to get the balance right between picking a team that we think's capable of getting us through to the next round and equally getting minutes into certain players as well. So really excited about another home game and a chance for, as I say, the players that come into the team to impress, and a chance for us to put another win on the board.
You've talked about getting minutes into players' legs. You've got the likes of Surridge, who came on, Chester, Clucas, Doughty, Ince, and probably you'll change the goalkeeper. It's a good match to. I'm saying probably. That was the wrong thing to say because you smiled. It's a great occasion to get more minutes into these players' legs and get them ready for Saturday in case they might make the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And equally, it's about respecting the opposition. But as I say, we've got a good group of players, a good squad of players. Still looking to add a couple if we can to add to the quality. But certainly the squad that we've got, we're pleased with where we're at the moment. The fitness levels are good. Most players have had good amounts of minutes into legs going into this part of the season, so that's important. Injury-wise, we're okay. We picked up one or two little twinges at the weekend, but we're in a good place at the moment. As I say, it's a good place to be. It's always good to get off to a winning start, but certainly we don't get carried away.
Well, you swerved my question about the goalkeeper, so I'll go on to the injuries. Is Josh Timon a concussion problem, or is he okay?
We'll have to see with Josh. He obviously came off with some dizziness, and he was taken off for precautionary reasons around that, and he'll be further assessed as we move forward into this week.
Last season, this cup competition was used to blood young players who actually were then so good that they stayed into the first team. Are you thinking, or you and the management team thinking of maybe blooding more players in this competition this time? You've mentioned you've got to keep the balance right, but it's an opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it's equally important for them youngsters to see that there's a pathway into the team. I think we've shown that. Certainly last season there was highest amount of minutes for under 23 players in the division, and again you've seen through pre-season in the games that our supporters would have seen some good youngsters coming through. So they've got to do enough to get into the squad in the first place, in the way that they train, the way that they conduct themselves around the football club, and then when they get the opportunity, they've got to take it. And for them players that will be involved tomorrow night, it'll be an opportunity to impress and stake a claim for as you say, for a starting berth in the team.
Conversely to that, though, you had a good win and every player looked really keen and up for it. You could see in the pre-match warm-up what a difference the crowd made. There won't be anywhere near as many fans in tomorrow, but it'll be a hard task to rest some of those players who played so well, won't it?
Yeah, and as I said before, we've got to strike the right balance, of course, between giving lads some minutes and making sure that other lads get a little bit of rest as well going into a big league game at the weekend. But as you say, the most important thing is the players out on the pitch are doing their utmost to impress and to be as good as they can possibly be individually, but certainly to be a good teammate as well out there on the pitch. When I think we saw good examples on Saturday, we got pegged back a couple of times, but we stuck at it. Substitutes came off the bench and impacted the game again, which is huge. And overall, as a full squad of players, it was a pleasing afternoon.
You must have been pleased, as all the management team, with the way the dead ball kicking has improved by Vrancic, but also it seems like you're getting the ball forward quicker now and you're pressing higher. Things that you wanted to work on from last season seem to be now a matter of course after the first game.
Yeah, we've worked so hard. The players have worked so hard pre-season. We've not wasted a minute. The manager's got a real set way that we want to play. I think you can see that in the system, in that 3-5-2. It allows you to play with two strikers, which we always want to try and do as much as we can. It gives you an extra man in midfield as well in that system. And I think going back to the set piece delivery, I thought you're right with Mario, but I thought it was a fantastic delivery from Tommy Smith for the opening goal. Powley with a good finish, but there was only 4 or 5 players could have been on the end of that. So again, something we've been working really hard on. Disappointing, of course, to concede from a set piece, and we'll have to learn from that. But yeah, a good example of what you just said there in your question is the 3 goals that we scored. The first one, as I say, an excellent set piece. Second one, we've pressed high up the pitch with the 2 strikers. We've condensed the pitch as much as we can, and Danny Batts won it back on the halfway line, and we broke quickly and scored through Brownie. And then the third one is an excellent build up from the goalkeeper right the way through Ben Wilmot, and a great finish from Sam Surridge to come off the bench on his debut and score the winner. Nothing like a late winner, is there? So I'm sure our supporters enjoyed that, and we certainly did. And as I say, it was a good start for us.
Going back to the injuries, is there anybody that's ruled out as a result of Saturday?
Yeah, we've got 1 or 2 that may struggle for tomorrow. Nothing sort of too long term, but certainly tomorrow's game may come a little bit too quickly. We're still in the process now of assessing and seeing where them lads are at. But certainly tomorrow, when we go into the game, we'll make sure that we're not going to pick anybody that's too high a risk. As I said before, it's got to be a team that's going to be competitive and hopefully get us through the next round.
Well, given that you've swerved 2 of my questions, I guess you'll make this the hat trick. There's lots of talk today about Leo Ostergaard maybe joining from Brighton. Have you got anything to say on that?
I've not seen that, to be honest. I've just literally come in from training. It's a beautiful day here, as you can see. So we've spent all morning out on the training pitch. So I'm sure if there's anything official, we'll hear it first through the club channels.
Well, listen, thanks for your time and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ange. Brilliant swerve, Dean. George now, please. Thanks. Need to unmute, George.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Dean, you were very positive about the game on Saturday, more ways than one, but one of the big aspects from everybody concerned, not only in the press area, but the fans as a whole, I think, was the pace that you had back in the side. You broke very effectively, and the support for them, particularly on both sides of the pitch, was very obvious, wasn't it? And even people like Ben Wilmot supporting well, Jacob Brown, it was all there, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was, as I said, there was many pleasing aspects to the performance on Saturday. The first part is the 3 points, of course, but yeah, there was many good things to the way that we played. We was pleased with lots of that. It's just the same as there was lots of things that we can work on. You're right, the way that we attacked with pace on the counter attack is important. There's many different ways we want to play. We want to get the ball out from the back and move it down the pitch quickly with quality. We want to be solid without the ball. Try and get after teams as much as we can at the right times and try and win the ball back high. And then on transition, when you win it back, you want to try and hurt teams as much as you can. And we saw aspects, as I said, all 3 goals on Saturday were good examples of that. So, yeah, we don't get too carried away, but certainly it was for a first game with lots of new players. I touched on it before, even the players that signed last summer, it was almost, as the manager said prior to the game, it was almost like a new debut for them with supporters out there for the first time. So all in all, it was a pleasing afternoon for us.
Pace is a big ingredient in today's game. Dean, you'll know all about that, but also ball retention. And you had areas where that was evident as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, and again, it comes down to decision making of the players on the pitch and in the moment of the game. Is it the right time to go and try and attack quickly? Is it we saw certainly once Reading got that second equaliser, we saw an extra dimension to the way that we attacked. We attacked more with more purpose, and maybe we can do that even when we're 2-1 up at times to try and take the game away from opposition. I think we saw a great move that fell to Mario on the edge of the box. He's hit it with his right foot, and that would have been 3-1, possibly game over. But the defender got a great block on. But it's just it's decision making, it's game management, and of course lots of young players, lots of new players still finding the way that we want to play. So all them things we got to keep looking to improve.
Cup game tomorrow, of course, against, well, most people conceive lower opposition, but a cup game does give people lifts. You'll know all about that from a player point of view and a management point of view. And certainly it's not going to be a gimme, is it?
No, absolutely not. No, if you know, Simon Grayson's teams over the years have always been a really tough team to play against. A hugely experienced manager. So you know, they've got a good team there. We watched the game at the weekend, some of the pre-season games as well. And they've got a nice balance, as I said before, with some good experience in there, but equally they've got some exciting youngsters as well. So no game is ever going to be taken for granted. We've never disrespected opposition like that. We'll go into the game, you know, fully respecting them, but equally sure that we want to go and win the game and get through to the next round. That's important to us as well.
You always do your research, there's no doubt about that, leaving no stone unturned, but sometimes pre-season games and maybe the first game of the season can be a bit of a bad guide or a notorious bad guide, because manager will make changes which maybe you'll not be aware of, but you'll have done all your research as strong as possible in many ways, Dean, won't you?
Yeah, again, it's always a team effort. We've got a group of analysts that work diligently all day long, sat in front of a computer. It must be tough, but they give us the right information, and we sit together as a staff. We discuss, and then it's about how we deliver that to the players. You know, can we deliver that to the players in a way that they go out with real clarity in the mind of how we're going to play? More importantly, so of course, yeah, we need to be fully aware of the opposition's threats and certainly their weaknesses, and then how we can exploit them. And I thought we did that really well on Saturday against Reading.
How important is rotation in any team now, Dean? Particularly now you've got a fairly big number in squads, or a decent squad number at this moment in time. How important is it rotation? Because this month is very, very significant in Saturday, Tuesday. So there's a lot of games right away, isn't there, really?
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. It's always striking the balance, of course, of making sure that you get that momentum within the team. You get them certainly new relationships on the pitch in terms of positional play and getting an understanding of the guy next to you and what he demands from you and what you demand from him. So he's getting the balance between that and getting minutes into other players in the squad, making sure that when they're needed in the league games further down the line that they're ready as well. So that'll be the balance that we'll look to strike tomorrow.